What in the world happened? With a little more hindsight, we're gonna talk more Wisconsin, Ohio State. Really, how this game got out of control so quickly and what we saw from those first moments. All that and more in today's Locked On Badgers.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining Locked On Badgers. I'm your host, as always, Ryan Herrings, your team every single day. So grateful to have all you here. Today's show is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. We want to thank LinkedIn Jobs for being the official college football recruiting sponsor across the Locked On College Network. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, let's get into this. So I am still frustrated, but I wanted to go back and just really look. This game was lost in the first 17 minutes of game time. Okay, it was over. 13:22 left in the second quarter. It's 28-0 Ohio State. What happened in those first 17 minutes? Because that's where this game was lost. So I wanted to go back through it, look at those drives, look at the strategy, look at the decisions, look at what Ohio State was doing, what Wisconsin was doing, and just break it down and talk about it. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of this as I break this down. If there was something else that you saw that you liked or didn't like, but let's start it off. Game time. 15 minutes left in the first quarter. Wisconsin wins the toss. They defer. I actually really like that move. I know some people made comments along the lines of, get the ball first, establish your will. I like deferring. I think it's the smart move. I think there's a reason guys like Bill Belichick basically always do it. Barring some type of weird, crazy weather that you think is going to make the game a lot worse as it goes on, or some other extenuating circumstance, I always want getting the ball at halftime in my back pocket. I think you can game plan around it. You can strategize around it. It's a way to get back-to-back possessions without forcing an actual turnover. So kudos to Chryst. I think that's the right move, especially in a hostile environment. Put your best unit on the field first, which has always been the defense. Well, not always, but within the last 10 years, it's been the defense. So totally good with it. Ohio State comes out, and instantly the first pass, Stroud, throws it out. Holman undercuts it, but it's a really bad read. They get it basically an automatic first down, and it's already kind of warning signs, right? It looks like we're all over the map. That was a play Holman needs to make, or he needs to make that, or he needs to make sure he makes a tackle. He does neither. They get a first down. And even that play, Ohio State, here's one of the things when you go back and watch it, you watch them and then you watch us offensively. They have so much more eye candy. They scheme so much more going on. This was off a play action, misdirection, a lot of eye candy. They come back opposite side that they're running the play action to, hit the receiver. Holman, again, misses the undercut, first down, Ohio State. Next play, they go 5 wide. And this is something they were able to do a couple times, which I think the Badgers need to do a better job of this going forward. The way they spread us out, they forced Herbig to kind of play in space and spots to get off the line of scrimmage. The Badgers need to find that you're not always going to be able to scheme Herbig to be on the edges, to be rushing the passer, but Ohio State was able to neutralize him occasionally just by making him go into space and cover dudes and making him go into space and be a cover guy. And Herbig can drop back. He's athletic, but he's also our best pass rusher, right? And that's a win right there schematically for Ohio State, getting our best pass rusher off the line of scrimmage. So they go 5 wide. They hit an immediate seam to Cade Stover for about 18 yards. Our linebackers don't get enough depth on the drop in the zone. And it's another open throw. So, Stroud is able to open up with 2 open throws. And a couple things I'm seeing here, you have Benton and Mullins on the line of scrimmage. And, Ohio State is really spreading us out. Mullins, just in that situation, it's a tough play for him. You almost can't play Mullins there. You need a little more speed, a little more athleticism on the front, because Stroud's getting rid of the ball quick. And, when they're spreading you out, they're playing 10 personnel, 1 running back, no tight ends, 4 receivers. That's not really Mullins' game. So there's already a couple indicators here. This is not going well. Next play, they run right at Herbig. They motion Stover back in the backfield. A lot of motion, a lot of eye candy from Ohio State already. They run right at Herbig, which they do several times. Herbig struggles being that point of attack defender. It's just he's super twitchy. He's very strong for his size. He has great hit power. But when you put a 320-pound offensive tackle across from him and just drive that ball right at him, That's tough on them. And they ran the ball at Herbig a lot this game. So they ran it at them, 6 blockers. We had 6 in the box, got a first down. They said that sets up another deep crosser for them where, again, they just dropped the ball behind our linebackers. And now they're just chopping up the field, right? Stroud is hitting every pass. All these are open throws. We're off balance. They're hitting some runs, some throws. This was a deep crosser. This sets up a 1st and goal. And this is really one of the first points in this game where I'm still obviously our defense looks pretty bad at this point, right? We're getting pushed around the field. Ohio State is really scheming some stuff up, but 1st and goal, I just want to see a little bit of all right, put the foot in the ground. We're going to man up here. We do have a big, strong defensive line with Mullins and Benton and Rodas. And on this one, 1st and goal, Benton just got driven into the end zone. Benton got washed out. He finishes this play 5 yards in the end zone. It's a touchdown, Ohio State. Rodas Johnson had a pretty nice play. He got penetration here, but he needed a little bit of help. Both the linebackers were unable to do a whole lot. Muma got washed out. Turner took a bad angle. That's going to be a common theme here, by the way. Jordan Turner, for all of his athleticism and speed, he's trying to angle around blockers, and he's just not getting there. So it's 7-0 Ohio State, 12:15 left in the first quarter. And, yeah, we got punched in the mouth immediately. And what do we take away from that first drive? Well, for starters, Ohio State was ready. I'm not saying Wisconsin wasn't ready, but they weren't Ohio State ready. Ohio State immediately schemed stuff up, ran right at Nick Herbig, put players in motion that forced Herbig to defend in space. They're running a lot of misdirection. Even with more talent, they are running misdirection. They're putting players in space. They're being uncomfortable. And on top of that, they were really physical immediately from the jump. Washing Keanu Benton. Listen, if Keanu Benton is getting washed into the end zone, I mean, that was a matchup Wisconsin had to win. That's why Keanu Benton came back, right? That was one of the spots where we thought we had at least the ability to stalemate them, and it just wasn't the case. So 12:15 left. Ohio State's already up 7-0. They kick off. First Wisconsin possession. And this is where the frustration comes in for me at times. Be who you are, right? Play to your strengths, 100%. Braylon Allen's a stud, all of that. But you just saw Ohio State come out, be diverse, be unique, scheme stuff up. We come out in 12 personnel, and we just run the ball right up the middle. We got 4 yards. Listen, I thought Braylon Allen was really good. You have to run Braylon Allen in this game to have any chance. But I thought the disparity of throwing on 1st down in this game was really telling. There were times where you just have to do it because nobody expects you to do it. Running is great, but you can't do it on every 1st down seemingly, and this was a game where it just felt like, again, we just fell into the Wisconsin mold of 1st and 10. We have to run it. You have to run it. It's an act of Congress to not run the ball on 1st down. So 1st and 10, Allen takes a run. 2nd and 6, you go Wildcat, which is the first real wrinkle we saw here. And it worked, but it really worked because Braylon Allen's a total dude. He broke a tackle in the backfield from Steel Chambers, got to the edge, threw his shoulder, pushed around a couple people. 3rd and 1. First drive again, we've already had 2 runs. 3rd and 1, we come out, we go in 12 personnel again. 3rd and 1, sorry. We go power to Braylon Allen. Logan Brown had a really nice block in this one, by the way. That first 3rd and 1, Logan Brown washes somebody down the line of scrimmage, pancake. I'm telling you all right now, I've said this before. Logan Brown is going to be a really good guard if his future's not at tackle. He can, as a point of attack blocker, Logan Brown can push people around. He had several pancakes in this game. And on this one, on this first 3rd and 1, we went power. We're down 7-0. We need a 1st down. Braylon Allen got the movement. And if you go back and watch, it did a great job. Allen falls forward, 1st and 10, Wisconsin. And then in that moment, that was a big 1st down. Ohio State had marched down the field. The crowd is completely jazzed up. Came out 3 runs. I mean, again, you'd like to see a little more variety, but 3 runs, 1st down, let's go. And then, you come out. And now this is interesting that after the 1st down, we come out, we're in 12 personnel. Guarendo's the back. And I've said for a long time, we have to get Guarendo more involved. And it looks like the coaching staff had that same thought because they're instantly trying to get him some touches ahead of Malusi, first possession. And I think this is the right move, right? I've said it a bunch. This is a 6'2", 220-pound track star. We have to get him touches. So again, kudos to Chryst here. I think it's a good move to get him involved. They put him in motion and bring him back on kind of a jet sweep. Couple missed blocks. DK, Cundiff, didn't wall up as well as he needed to. And this is, listen, Grando's speedy. Everybody on Ohio State speedy. This is a tough defense to run a jet sweep coming off a motion against. So there was one point in here where Ohio State just outflanks us. Grando doesn't get a lot. We go 2nd and 10, and then we get into 2nd and 10 now, 9:48. We're down 7-0, and we get into that first pass, that Graham Mertz to Chimere Dike interception. Brutal, right? And the play was there. The thing is, it was a quick release. It was blocked up well enough. I mean, none of the Ohio State players really had time to get to Mertz anyways, but it was blocked up well enough. 2nd and 10, Mertz gets it out, and you can tell Mertz is looking for the hitch. Chimere's running the out. Both of them are there. That's the sad part. Both of those plays were there. If Chimere had just sat down and done the hitch, Mertz would have nailed him. If Mertz had thrown the out, he would have nailed him. The corner wasn't there, but they just weren't on the same page. Which results in just that devastating interception for Ohio State on Wisconsin's first drive. Herbie was wrong on this. Herbie didn't have the greatest night. Herbie put this all on Mertz throwing behind Chimere. Mertz wasn't throwing behind Chimere. Mertz just read what Chimere was doing incorrectly. Okay, so the throw was fine. Mertz thought it was going to be hitch. I'm not going to blow smoke. I have no idea who that was on. I don't know if that's Chimere misreading the coverage or if that's Mertz misreading what Chimere is doing. Either way, the result is the same: interception, Ohio State. So now we're down 7-0. Ohio State's got the ball plus territory. We're going to get into just continue breaking down this first part of the game and our observations from it and how this game got away so quickly. But first, today's show is brought to you by our friends at Locked On. These days, every new potential hire feels like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. And it's something I've used in my career. I've used it in my adult job, and I'm an IT guy. LinkedIn is something my company uses to get their message out there. So it's definitely something you're going to want to look into. Simple tools like screening questions make it really easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experiences so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview, who you'd like to hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. I want to thank everyone again for tuning into Locked On Badgers, making this one of your first stops every day, your team every single day. Really do appreciate the community we're building. If you like what we're doing, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to catch up to Iowa, and we're getting there. So really appreciate it. Let's keep talking Ohio State, Wisconsin. Let's keep going through these drives, through this first part of the game that really was the game, right? Again, it's that first quarter into the early second quarter that was it. By the time you're halfway into the second quarter, the game is over. It's decided. And we just want to look at the first chunk of this. What happened? What did they do to us schematically? What didn't we do to them, right? So we talked about that opening Ohio State drive, a lot of eye candy, a lot of open throws. Wisconsin's linebackers not getting enough depth. Herbie getting motioned off and getting run at. We just talked about the interception with Mertz. There's a miscommunication there. That play was there. Miscommunication. All right. So now Ohio State has the ball. We had the Mertz interception. 9:35 left in the first quarter. They're at the 16-yard line. They come out in 11 personnel. So one running back, one tight end. And again, it's just great play design here. They have so much talent. They could just out-talent you, which I think is what, Scott mentioned this. Urban Meyer did, definitely Tressel. But they're also now have added a layer of execution and schematics that are just next level. So, Stroud basically comes in motion to the left. They sneak Stover, the tight end. They look like they're going to involve him in the pass protection. He starts on the left side of the formation. He gets hidden. He comes back out to the right. Stroud does a great job of selling it. Easy pass. It's suddenly 14-0, 8:54 left, in the first quarter. I mean, it's that quick, right? But this is, again, an example of a great play design. I'm not sure who would have been responsible for Stover on this one. It was either Muma or Jay Shaw on the backside. But great play call, and just like that, they've capitalized off the turnover. They've gotten a wide open touchdown. Here's the other thing: every throw Stroud has made up to this point has been open. There has not been one point where he's had to fit a ball into coverage, which is incredible. And some of these are wide open. That throw on the last touchdown to Stover is wide open. So now you have 14-0 Ohio State. Okay, Badgers come out again in 12 personnel. Going power again. One running back, two tight ends. Now this is another interesting one to me. we talked in the previous segment, in the first segment, about getting Guerendo more involved. Guerendo is, again, the deep back here. They're trying to get him more involved, which I applaud. I think that's smart. Again, it's never all bad or all good in losses or wins. So this is something I think the coaching staff was doing a good job of. They were trying to get Guerendo more involved, which I think is important. I think you need that type of athlete on the field. He takes a deep handoff here, and the play is just blown up immediately. The line had moments in this game, but this was not one of them. Tyler Beach got beat badly on this play on the inside, which forced Guerendo to try to step to the outside, break it out wide, which you can't do against Ohio State. Guerendo really had nowhere to go on this one, so now suddenly it's 2nd 15. Badgers come out in 21 personnel, run Braylon out for 7 yards, 3rd and 7. So this is one of the things that was starting to frustrate me in this game. Now it's 3rd and 7. Wisconsin comes out shotgun. They go 11 personnel, and 11 personnel is 1 running back, 1 tight end. When they have to throw, they go to shotgun, right? When you know they're going to throw, they go to shotgun. But when it's ambiguous, they stay in the pro style. The frustration with that to me is, why not let Mertz throw from shotgun more when he doesn't have to throw? Because clearly they're in shotgun because they feel it gives him a better read of the field or gives their pass protection a better chance to develop. I feel like we only go to shotgun when we have to throw, whereas other schools, Ohio State, for example, is in shotgun on 1st down, and they give you a run pass option out of it. Again, I know that's not our offense right now. It doesn't have to be our offense. But we also shouldn't only go to shotgun on 3rd and long when we need Mertz to throw. Occasionally, it's okay, I would say, to put Mertz in shotgun. Give him more advantageous spots to throw from the field, from formations. Anyway, we go 3rd and 7. Pass pro doesn't hold up. 5-man rush. Logan Brown got beat inside. Mertz threw that kind of that prayer to Keontae Lewis that was double teamed. Really had no shot. Keontae Lewis beat his cornerback off the initial release, but there was a safety over the top. Again, this was a tough one on Mertz. When I watched this live, and this is the 3rd and 7 again, Wisconsin's down 14-0 at this point. When I watched this live, I was a little more critical of Mertz. I didn't like the throw. I didn't like the decision. When you go back and watch it, Wisconsin, there really weren't a lot of options for Mertz immediately because the pressure was quick. They kept Braylon Allen in to pass pro, but Logan Brown got beat pretty badly to the inside, and Mertz just had to throw it up. Someone was in his face. I didn't see – it's hard because I don't have coaches' film. We don't have the all-22, but I didn't see an immediate release Mertz could have gone to. I think he did what he could. Pass pro just didn't hold up. All right, so now we're punting. Okay, Ohio State's already up 14-0. They get the ball on the 30, on their 30, and they come out again immediately in 10 personnel. So they're coming running back, no tight ends. They motion a receiver out to the right and throw a smoke screen and get an immediate 12, 13 yards. This was one of the more frustrating early plays of the game where the game was still kind of up in the air. So again, picture this. Ohio State's coming out. They spread it out. They motion a receiver from left to right. So now they have trips on the right. And we just don't motion anybody out. Like Torchio should have gone. It was clearly Torchio that should have gone. And if not, there's some type of schematic problem here. So Stroud sees this right away, throws the ball, and they have a 3-on-2 advantage. Torchio gets out there late. They get a first down. That's just easy candy for them. And for some reason, we're just not on point with this because you can't give Ohio State a 3-on-2 advantage on the edge with those receivers. They're already at an advantage when you even it up and you have good numbers. So, you can see that one was a pretty obvious one where we just didn't adjust to their motion quick enough. I don't know if there was something else we were looking at. Again, I'm certainly not a coach. I don't know what the call was, but you can pretty clearly see there's 3 receivers out there, and we didn't get that 3rd defensive back out there quick enough. So they picked on that, got another easy and the theme of this, too, is it's another easy throw for Stroud through schematics, through play design, through lackadaisical defense. He's a great quarterback, and we're just giving him pitch and throw type situations where we're not even stressing him. It's a simple thing for him. So they knock that one out, get an automatic first down, throw another first down pass. Justin Clark misses a tackle. They get another first down. And it's just again and again, later in the drive, they continue this drive. They have a 2nd and 6. Cade Stover, the really good tight end, releases into the left flat. Nobody follows them. Another first down. They go 11 personnel, get a running game from 18 yards at that point. Benton gets washed out. So they're just doing everything they want to us. Benton is not playing a good game. Our linebackers are not taking great angles. They're getting easy throws in the flat because we're playing, I think, some type of loose zone at this point. So another run, they run kind of a power toss. They get down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. So now it's 1st and goal. They're up 14-0. They run play action to the left, roll out to the right. This was the Cade Stover touchdown where both Torchio and I think it was CJ Getz chased after Stroud, and Stroud just lopped it over their head. Easy touchdown. And it's 21-0. It's 21-0 Ohio State. And again, it's just been they've out-schemed and out-talented us. And that was the big takeaway of this show that I want to talk about. And I don't know if your eyes are glossing over with this, with me reading and kind of play-by-play in my interpretation of it. If you are, I apologize. But I think it's important to look. This wasn't just a talent thing. Everyone is saying this is a talent thing. Ohio State is just too talented. Yeah, they are. They are 100%. They are. They are also coached. They, at least in that game, they were coached better than we were. They were scheming people open. Like 2 of these first three touchdowns, right, are coming off just gorgeous schemed plays, misdirections. Plays where we just let Ohio State receivers run wide open. These running games our linebackers are getting outflanked. Benton's getting washed out of the field. Yeah, we're just missing tackles. That's talent, but that's also just their players, their chess pieces are in a better spot on the board for some reason. And it was just an all-around failure in this game. So, all right, let's set the table here. Ohio State is up 21-0 at this point. Excuse me. Ohio State's up 21-0 at this point. Still the first quarter, by the way. It's 3:55 left in the first quarter. So Ohio State kicks off. In fact, let's take a quick break, and we're going to come down and do the last part, which culminates in what I thought was one of the worst decisions Paul Chryst made in this game. So all of that's coming up after the break. Word from our sponsors on Locked On Badgers. I want to thank everyone again for tuning in to Locked On Badgers, making this one of your first listens as we continue to dice up, break down, chop up, and regurgitate the Ohio State dominating win over the Badgers. So we've come up to the point. It's 21-0. Wisconsin getting the ball back. It's still the first quarter. But for really, this game is over. But I said it in the recap show. I'm also an optimistic fan, and the game isn't over for me. Okay, I still have scenarios in my head where it's the first quarter. We get the ball at halftime. Maybe we catch a break. It's 1st and 10. We come out again in 12 personnel handoff. This was Malusi this time, 2 yards, nothing there. Again, we're so predictable. We're coming out in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 running back, and we're going to run it right up the gut like we do every 1st and 10. I just feels like we're playing into the hands of an Ohio State defense that's pretty good and a defense coordinator that's really good. He knows what we're doing. I know what we're doing. We all know what we're doing. So 2nd and 7, Mertz gets sacked. Bit of a delayed blitz. 3rd and 10 brings up a 3rd and 10. Again, we go 11 personnel because when we're in obvious passing situations, we go to shotgun. We put a running back in the backfield. We have 3 receivers. It's really kind of what we do. It's almost to script, right? Again, I don't know why we wouldn't go to that positional group, that formational group earlier, right? You can do that on 2nd and 7. You can do that on 1st and 10 occasionally. Let Mertz throw out of the gun like Stroud does every time occasionally. It gives the protection a little bit more time. It allows them to see the field a little bit more. I digress. So 3rd and 10, Cundiff misses a block on the outside. We keep 7 in the block. Ohio State rushes 4 and gets pressure. It was a weird protection scheme. We kind of slid everything to the right and left Cundiff one-on-one on the edge. He did not do a great job. That's a tough ask for a tight end, but he gets beat. Mertz has to step up. Again, this was 7-man protection against a 4-man Ohio State blitz, and they still forced Mertz pretty quickly out of the pocket. He did a pretty good job. Credit to Graham Mertz. Found Keontae Lewis on the left sideline. Lewis gets 9 yards, steps out. So now we come up into this moment of the game where it's 21-0 Ohio State. Still the first quarter. The ball is at the 44-yard line because Ohio State actually had a kickoff out of bounds on this one. So we caught our first break here. The ball's at the 44-yard line. It's 4th and 1. Braylon Allen has run pretty good this game so far. And we punt. Y'all, listen. We're not very, very, very almost certainly not winning this game no matter what Paul Chryst calls on that play. Right? Let me be super clear on this. But you can't punt there. I'm sorry. On 4th and 1 from the 44 in Columbus down 21-0, you can't punt there. You can't do it. You can't give them the ball right back. You can't do it. Your defense has been shredded. If this is one of those games where the defense was locked in, great. This is not one of those games. Your defense has been shredded. And you have Braylon Allen and a big offensive line that's actually been able to run the ball a little bit in this game. On the 44-yard line, 4th and 1, you have to go for it. Paul Chryst is asked about this in the post-game press conference. He basically said, we were in a hole. I thought that we could, pin them back, get a stop, play some field position. I'm sorry. You can't do that against Ohio State. You can't do that against Ohio State. Not down 21-0. What are you going to pin them back, hope you stop them, get the ball back to the 20 and drive back down? No, the 44 might be one of your better spots to get points in this game. They kicked the ball out of bounds. You caught a break. 4th and 1. Go for it. Rant over. I thought that was an obvious misread of the game script by Paul Chryst and his staff. So they punt. And then, of course, Vooch shanks it, which, listen, that's not on Paul Chryst. Like, Vooch has been really good this year. I wouldn't expect him to shank it in that moment either, but Vooch does shank it. So now you made this bad situation where I thought you needed to run the ball anyway, where you had to go for it on 4th down anyway. Just because of the game script, you had to get something going. You could not give the ball right back to them. And then you also shanked the punt. So Ohio State comes out, and of course they come out in 10 personnel, right? They are going for the jugular. They're not content. They come out in 10 personnel. They throw an incomplete pass. Pretty good coverage by Hallman here. 2nd and 10, they run the ball, get 7 yards. And then 3rd and 4 on that drive. And this is really the moment where the Badgers defense, if you're going to validate what Paul Chryst just did, you got to get up the field here. 3rd and 4, we come with the delayed blitz, which just never gets it. You almost can't do that against Stroud, right? Because he gets rid of the ball too quickly and the decisions are too crisp. His receivers get open too easily to bring that delayed blitz. So we bring in delayed blitz. Marvin Harrison Jr., is locked up with Jay Shaw on the left side and just loses him. Listen, there are not many cornerbacks in the world. This is not a shot on Jay Shaw. There are not many cornerbacks in the college football world who are going to stick with Marvin Harrison Jr. one-on-one. Marvin Harrison just loses them on a slant. I mean, he creates like 7 yards of separation, easy 1st down throw. And then from there, it's done. Like they follow that up with a 15-yard run where Turner takes another bad angle. Darrell Peterson gets swallowed up on a block. And a couple more runs where they run right at Nick Herbig. Again, Turner has kind of a shot in the hole. There is a point in the drive where it's 3rd and 3, and they kind of run to the right. Jordan Turner has the cleanest shot we had probably in the entire game in the hole to get a tackle for loss and just whiffs. And then Max Laffey misses, just grabs air, gives it, becomes 1st and goal. And then they score a touchdown on the next play, 28-0. 13:33 second quarter, 28-0. I mean, that's ball game, right? So I know that was a lot of plays, a lot of talking. It might not be the most organized show, but what are some of the big takeaways here? One of the first is Ohio State. You have no idea what they're doing. None, right? They're coming out in 10 personnel, 11 personnel. They're coming out using their tight end to great effect in motion. They're creating rollouts with deception, a couple touchdown passes off misdirection, tons of eye candy. On 2nd and 7, they're running out of the gun. On 1st and 10, they're throwing out of the gun. Just really tough, really, really tough. Defensively, Benton played terribly. And I've been the biggest Benton guy. You got to call it like it is. He played terribly. He got washed out. Our linebackers were non-existent, quite frankly, detrimental. So there's that. And then on the offensive side, you can't start every drive in a meaningful parts of the game in 12 personnel and then run up the middle. It's just so obvious. I don't understand where that game plan is coming from. I thought Braylon Allen ran hard. I thought the offensive line made some nice plays. I liked the fact that the coaching staff is trying to get Grendo involved. The interception was a backbreaker. That was a miscommunication, but the deception and the schematics from Ohio State comparatively to Wisconsin, it's breathtaking. And that's on that's on the coaches. That's on the coaching staff. That's on getting the teams ready. There's an obvious talent differential here. Going back to the chess analogy, it's like playing somebody without your queen and a rook and 2 pawns. Like, they have more chess pieces. They just do. But they also employ them better. So it's just a frustrating. I'm still frustrated by going back and watching those first couple drives, seeing where it got away. It just looks like we're playing a different type of game. We're playing so conservative. where you can play power football and play action on first down, right? You can play power football and still throw the ball more occasionally and in less obvious situations. So I hope you all enjoyed the show. Apologize if you didn't. Thank you again for listening, for tuning in. If you like the show, please leave a comment, subscribe if you want to. But when you're done here, go check out Locked On Big Ten with host Nate Dickinson. He's going to bring you all around the Big Ten Conference, checking out what's going on with our rivals. And with that, we're going to talk to you again tomorrow for sure on Wisconsin. Still a lot of season left, a lot to unpack. We're going to keep talking Ohio State, Illinois coming up with Burt Bielema, and some basketball news as well. So obviously stay tuned to Locked On Badgers. Appreciate you all so much on Wisconsin.